Hello everyone, in today's episode, the 1 Year Life Challenge, we're going to talk about relationship resolutions both for couples and for singles. Hello everyone, we're making it through this 1 year journey at an incredible clip. We're learning about such amazing processes, ancient wisdom, modern science, and ultimately what does it all lead to? The simple relationship with yourself and how that manifests into relationships with others. So as it is the new year's, we've almost gone through half a year of these videos. It's time to look at some resolutions about how we're going to treat ourselves and treat others, and we'll look at that through the context of romantic relationships. And as always, I'm going to begin with a quote on the subject, and that quote is, "Always." That is a dreadful word. It makes me shudder when I hear it. Women are so fond of using it. They spoil every romance by trying to make it last forever. Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Oscar Wilde was one of the greatest playwrights of all time, definitely up there with Shakespeare and Rumi. And The Picture of Dorian Gray is an incredible story about a man who refuses to age and has a painting made of him that ages while he stays young. And it's an incredible insight into trying to cheat death and the human condition. What is Oscar Wilde really saying there? He's talking about that always, that there is nothing that is always. Whatever you say will always happen is an impossibility. It's a statistical impossibility. All things must end. Therefore, the beauty is in the ending. And I say that about relationships. People don't often like to hear this, but the beauty of a relationship is this incredibly fragile, important moment in your life where you meet someone and connect with them on a cosmic level. For a short time. It doesn't last forever, and that's the beauty. If it did last forever, it wouldn't be beautiful. And we all know that becoming too familiar creates contempt. You see people who've been together for 10, 15 years starting to treat each other worse than strangers. Things end, and appreciating that ending and understanding that every beginning must therefore have an ending, and even better, every ending therefore can create a new beginning, we start to see the repeating patterns of life and how to really handle them. So, if you don't understand this and you try to make every relationship last forever and be as beautiful as the day that it started, you turn what could be a life lesson into a life sentence. I see so many people have been together for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and it seems like they're going through this prison sentence where they wake up with someone like a prison warden, try not to make them angry, try to do the things that they're asked, and then hopefully don't get in too much trouble. And it sounds like it's a prison warden system. So understand that not being aware of your relationship and not paying attention and give it intention, like it could end, like you treat every day in your relationship like it's your first and your last, that's ultimately the best way to get the most out of it. Treating your relationship like it's going to last forever is one surefire way to make it end earlier. So what are the resolutions that we need to create in order to sustain for as long as possible these beautiful relationships? Well, number one, create space. They say that the heart grows with the distance of the lover, and really what's wrong with modern relationships is there's no space. We live together, we watch TV together, we are each other's best friends, we're in each other's faces, we get in each other's way, and that's what life is not about that. The human body, from a cultural perspective, was never designed to be with one person. We are villagers, we are tribesmen, we belong in tribes and communities, and we need to interact with multiple people. I love it. I love to hear that people say, "Oh, my partner is my best friend." That's actually not always healthy. Your partner is your partner, it's your lover. Your best friend can be someone else. You don't feel like your lover has to be your best friend, your husband, your confidant, your mentor. Trying to place all these things onto your lover will ultimately disappoint them. Create space and separation so you can create each other's lives. Because what did you really fall in love with at the start? You fell in love with the separate identity of that individual, the person who was working out, reading books, getting kick-ass results in their career. You fell in love with that. You didn't fall in love with this attached, morphed creature that becomes like you. Separation is key. Create space, block out space, and don't be scared of taking holidays separately, or don't be scared of spending a few days away from each other. Number two, you must grow together or you'll grow apart. It's that simple. If you don't have the same framework for growth, that is exploring new challenges, taking on maybe new languages, travel, spiritual journey, becoming the best version of yourself, if those projects are not aligned, understand it's over. Because what will inevitably happen is if you are on that growth path, you will inevitably grow away from your partner, and the distance will be pain and suffering until it's ended. If you're not growing together, you're dying together. Number 3, appreciate difference. Your spouse is going to have different qualities to you. Expecting them to be able to remember the way to the holiday destination because you can is ridiculous. There are differences, and differences create polarity, and polarity is attraction. If they were the same as you would not love them. So understand that you should appreciate the differences. Appreciate that, yes, they forget phone numbers. But you're there to remember the phone numbers. Appreciate those little foibles that you each have that complement each other. Number 4, forget equality. This mental concept we have out there that men and women are the same, #equality, is just the most ridiculous concept ever. And unfortunately, it's having a particularly negative effect on young women who believe they need to be the CEO of Google, raise a family, and look like a supermodel. Guess what? That's tough, and it's not even viable. And why would you want that? I see, and they don't even know why. Sometimes with these beautiful young women who genuinely want to be mums, but when you ask them what they want to be, they talk, I want to be CEO of a company. Who really wants to be CEO of a company? Just think about what that comes with it. There's a lot of men who are CEOs of company who don't want to be CEO of a company anymore. But you rarely find people who give birth to a child or experience absolute bliss as they travel and grow with new people who wish that not upon themselves. So forget this equality jazz. We are different. Men and women are different, but beautifully different. I guarantee you that being the CEO of Google is not as important as giving birth to another human being. So what is this #equality stuff really? We are different, and we should come together and appreciate those differences. Number 5, understand fully that everything dies. The world of frequency and change and movement means that things must have a beginning and end. And trying to block that out of your mind, or worrying that things could end, don't worry about things that could end, because they will end. Therefore, there's nothing to worry about. If you know something's going to happen, there's no point worrying about it. Everything dies. The beauty of a rose versus a plastic rose, a real rose and plastic rose, is simply that one will die. Therefore, it's short term. You must give it your attention, your appreciation while you have it before it dies. The other resolution, inspire each other. That's what you're there to do, inspire each other. But don't inspire each other for nagging or telling people what to do. Be the best version of yourself, and your partner will come along with that. That's how you inspire, through actions, not through words. Yes, I know that, for example, a lot of women want the best for their man, so they're constantly reminding them and nagging them to get on with their game or their workout. That doesn't work. It just creates resentment and bitterness, especially from someone who you love. The other resolution, never settle. Being lonely is, yes, it's a condition that makes you want to change that. Quite often you get lonely, you want to reach out to people. But there's one thing the only thing worse than being lonely by yourself is being lonely with someone else. Being with the wrong person is 1,000 times worse than being lonely, because you lock off all your alternatives and you're settling for something that really you could have better. This is a key one. End it when it's over. You know when a relationship is over. A relationship is very simple. 2 people have to be giving all the time. And the minute they stop giving and stop being, attentive and having, giving each other attention, it's over. Whether or not you've got the divorce papers signed, whether or not you made the breakup official on Facebook, it doesn't matter. It ends at that point, and you two should end it. I spent probably a year in a relationship that was over 12 months before that, and I'll never get those 12 months back. And they're the worst 12 months. Those ruminations, that getting angry, that bitter, the fact it's over in your heart, so you don't really want to do nice things to them, that's a horrible place to live. Don't live there, move on, end it when it's over. The other resolution for relationships is be present. Bring your mindfulness and presence into your partner. Look them in the eye, notice their freckles, notice the small hairs on their neck as you speak to them. Be present in those conversations. And finally, remember, the only gift worth giving is your attention. Your attention is all you've got. All you've got is this cosmic awareness, and when you give it to someone and are fully present with them, that's the greatest gift you can give. Holidays away are nice, diamond rings and flowers and chocolates are all nice, but your attention is your number 1 gift. And if that's not good enough and your partner wants expensive gifts, that's fantastic. The relationship is over, because ultimately that will be a very frustrating long-term relationship that is based on material needs that will change. If they love your attention, they love you. Therefore, you have the hallmarks of a great, great relationship. Relationships are incredible. It's where we grow. It's where we bond. It's where we recognize the subjective consciousness of the universe in another person. We should love them, care for them, and apply these resolutions. It's definitely something to think about, and I can't wait to see you till tomorrow. Goodbye.